Welcome everybody to our live at 5 minute training MIT meeting. My name is Michael. I will be your recovery coach for this evening. We're going to get right into it. Let me do a little bit of sharing here, and we'll jump right into our lesson for tonight. This is going to be our Men in Training MIT lesson. Glad you tuned in. All right. Let's see what we got. So, look at that. I didn't even touch it. It's on the screen. So our lesson is what I learned about leadership from addiction recovery. So this is going to be our MIT training, and this came from a HuffPost.com. It's in the description on this particular, on our Facebook page and on our YouTube page. Actually, you can go and check it out. It's right in the description, okay? So let's see what we got here. So we're going to jump right into it. All right. So what I learned about leadership from addiction recovery. So the first thing we want to go over is there are no silver bullets. People's needs change, and relationships matter more than programs. Man, that's I could pull over, pause, and park right there for a moment. People's needs change, and relationships matter more than programs. It says, perhaps this set of insight has shaped my work on solving social problems more than on others. I myself be befitted from a combination of inpatient treatment, outpatient treatment, support groups, therapies, friends, and mentors. This is me as well. I benefited from all of those things right there, right? So each could claim me as an outcome. You see that? The outpatient, the inpatient, the support groups, the therapy, the friends, the mentors. All of them can claim me as a positive outcome. While all are valuable, none were sufficient. If I were to measure their effectiveness, I would rank them by the extent to which they help me establish relationships that exist outside of the institutional framework. This is a very big point. Relationships matters more than programs. So it was nurturing, supportive, and relevant relationships with peers and mentors who could nurture me, push me, and hold me accountable. Big word right here. Someone to hold you accountable. You don't want to have a whole bunch of people, what I call yes men, in your particular support network. You need somebody who's able to nurture you, mentor you, push you, and more importantly, hold you accountable. That's why we're talking right here that although people's needs do change and relationships matter more than programs, hold you accountable, that have made the greatest impact. It was mutual support. I did the same for them. So the mutual support, the relationships, man, I can't move off of this. This is very important. The relationships you build with individuals outside of the life that you're coming from are very important. This is a mentor training for you right here. My journey and my friend's journey have not been straight lines. Things ain't going to always go one way. If my outcomes were evaluated 1, 3, 5 years out, there would have been very different results. There was no perfect casualty from any one intervention to outcomes, but a roller coaster ride during which I needed different kinds of intervention and support at different times. So remember, we're talking about how people's needs change. So the need or the support you probably needed in early recovery possibly might not be the exact same support you need later. You might need somebody on a different level. You might need support in a different way. It can be the same person, but it might be needed in a different way. Prime example, the person I look to for areas in my recovery is not the same person I go to with my spiritual development, if you understand what I'm saying. I have two different individuals for different things that help me in my process. So let's move down here. We also understand that some people, due to mental illness, trauma, and other issues, may find success more elusive, and we keep welcoming them back. I argue often with policymakers and funders who think there are simple, singular solutions to help people live in a complex life with changing conditions and circumstances. In the end, it is the support of people, not programs, that make the greatest difference. The best experts are those who've been there. So the support of people. So the first bullet we're talking about, remember our topic here. This is our topic. Let me put it on a lower third. I'm gonna let it slide across the screen. We learned what I learned about leadership from addiction recovery. And the first thing we covered was there is no silver bullets, meaning this is the answer for everyone. People's needs change and relationships matter more than programs. It's one of the things that I try to tell individuals all the time. You need to build your recovery support network. Even if you take the word recovery out, you want to build your support network, because a lot of times people think the only people who need support is people who struggle with a substance. And I'm telling you, that's not true. Everybody needs support. So you want to develop that. Because, why, Michael? Thanks. That's a good question. I'm glad you asked. Because relationships matter more than programs. You're going to eventually leave those programs. And if you did not start to work on building good relationships, the perfect place for you to start is now. All right, next one. Let's move, man. We're doing good, pretty good stuff here, man. It's short and sweet tonight. Mentors matter most. It says one of the first things one does in recovery is ask someone to be a sponsor, a mentor, to show them the ropes, and who is willing to be on call whenever temptations or trouble threatens. I was fortunate in my first few weeks to meet a 36-year-old person in Milwaukee who agreed to take me under his wing. It was the first adult relationship, especially with a male, where I felt someone really accepted me fully and had my back completely. Man, you gotta have this. Mentors matter most. You have to have somebody in your life that will mentor you, take you under, and will be there for you completely. He loved me and cared for me, but he also held me accountable. Look at that big word again. A lot of people run from this, accountability, and called me on the things that I did wrong when I deserved it. Can you handle a mentor, a sponsor, a spiritual advisor, whatever title you want to give them? Are you able to handle when they call you on some stuff that you did wrong? Or will your attitude towards that individual change? So he says he would make time for me whenever I needed him, even when I called him in the middle of the night, which was not rare. I learned many lessons from him, but I also learned the value of finding someone who you aspire to be like. I can't get this out. This is so good. Listen, I tell people all the time, you have to find someone that has already did what you are trying to do. If you're trying to do something, right, you want to always try to find someone that has already accomplished it. When I was still actively using, I saw individuals who had like 15 and 20 years of success in their recovery process. I knew them, I saw them. I also had my mother and my father. I had other individuals, but you gotta find someone that was successful at it. Finding someone who you aspire to be like. Learning how they got there. What did they do? Remember, you learning as a mentee or a sponsee. What did they do? And ask them for help. I applied the same lesson when I started my career and continue to do so. I do that right now. Engaging mutual support for peers an executive coach, and many mentors without whom I could not have succeeded in sustaining my leadership. I do it now, and I got I just mentioned that I have a spiritual advisor or spiritual mentor. I have a recovery mentor, and I own my own personal business. But watch this. I even have a business mentor. So no matter what I try to do, I use the same strategy in regards to my sponsor, spiritual advisor, business mentor, whatever. You have to find someone, mentors matter most. You have to find someone that you aspire to be like, or to aspire to get to the same success that they had. Amen. So let's see. Let me look. Let me see here. Okay. Let's move down to my next one. Own your mistakes and failures. Woo! I know you want the internet to go out right here, right? Nope, ain't going out. We got service. It says own your mistakes and failures. Another element of addiction recovery is to make a list of all the things we have done wrong to others. Okay, sound familiar? And the list of all the people we have harmed. Sound familiar? After reflecting on and building the list for some time, my next step was to sit with my sponsor and mentor and share the list with them. It was a scary, humbling experience. But at the end, I waited for him to judge me. Instead, he laughed. That's it. You're great. I love you. Let me tell you about my list. In recovery, we put our cards on the table all the time, admitting our weaknesses, failures, and struggles, and learn that we are still okay and worthy of love. We learned that we are not alone and that few of us are unique in terms of our failures and struggles, meaning you talking about what you felt in that, what you struggling in that, and other people looking at you like, yeah, me too. What's the big deal, right? It was a powerful lesson that it's okay to screw up as long as you own it. Learn from it and grow. Watch this. I'm going to read this over. It was a powerful lesson that it is okay to screw up as long as you own it, learn from it, and grow from it. I often tell individuals that my failures have become my mentors. And what that means is certain things that I felt that repeatedly, I won't fail that no more. I have determined not to, because the consequence of those failures have punished me so much that I don't even want to go through it again. So your failures have to become your mentors. It says, as long as you own it, learn from it, and grow from it. All right. Let's look at, all right, let's read this. He says, I tell a story that includes sharing a list of things I suck at. I share it because I learned that owning this list enables me to hire different people, delegate better, and welcome feedback more. I explained how scary it was to first share this list with colleagues until I realized that the things you suck at aren't a secret. If you are always late, everyone noticed that. If you dominate conversations, everybody notices that. If you avoid conflict, everybody notices that. Audience laughed in recognition when I shared this. And after my talks, many people shared with me some of the things they suck at. Of course, it is also important to be confident about what we are good at. But I found being transparent about challenges is liberating and often opens up others to share their authentic selves with me rather than judge me. A lot of people can't tell you about their mistakes and failures because they want to always show you the good side, or they show you what they're good at. But mistakes and failures or things you're not good at doesn't actually make you weak, especially if you can put somebody on your team that's good at what you actually aren't good at. And that's a very important leadership teaching, a tool that you can get right there. It doesn't matter that you're not good at it. The thing is, can you get somebody on your team that's good at what you suck at? Good. All right, let's look. Next, Welcome and don't judge others' stories. Welcome and don't judge others' stories. Let's see what it says. In treatment at age 16, I resided with a group of peers very different from myself. They came from different communities, racial and ethical backgrounds, and sexual orientations. They were individuals who came out of juvenile prisons, gang members, teen parents, head bangers, all types of stuff. I walked in thinking I knew them all from an instant. Biased judgment. Then I began learning their stories, their passions, their struggles, and their dreams. And I realized how ignorant my biases were. Found what we held in common, found what we had in common, valued our differences, and felt grateful for the privilege I now understood that I had despite my challenges. As I began going to these support groups, I was often surrounded by even more diverse mix of adults. At my first meeting, I sat with the three senior citizens and I was scared until they told their stories and welcomed mine. I learned to build relationships with all kinds of people and not to assume I knew anybody's story until I listened to it. This is good. Welcome and don't judge other people's stories, but you'll learn a lot when you think. I remember being in the meeting and they were talking about a particular person, okay, a particular type of person that was having these particular struggles. And as they started talking, I realized that the person that they were talking about, I wasn't not too far removed from being that person. So when I said we can't really like talk or judge that person because you never know where that person might end up. And the reason why I said that because the same type of person that they were discussing, it was the same type of person that I used to be, but I was at the meeting with them. That's why you can't judge other people. Don't judge them. You never know. They might actually end up being in the same group that you're in. So let's move on. All right, that was free, man. I ain't gonna charge up for that one. Give you that Fred. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see. I got about two more. We got plenty of time. I get through. Next, practice acceptance, forgiveness, and a big word here, gratitude. Practice acceptance, forgiveness, and gratitude. I've learned from preserving through many struggles, persevering through many struggles and tragedies, and watching many others preserve through even greater struggles and tragedies to be more accepted and grateful of life on life terms. The serenity prayer has been my mantra for years. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. As one who is conflict avoidant, I found that I'm actually better at the first part of the prayer than the second part. I know that no matter what happens, if I maintain a perspective, remain grateful, reach out to others for help, I will persevere. Most importantly, I know that I cannot control my situations, only how I react to them and grow from them. It is not easy, and I can't forget to react moments. But these lessons have helped me through many personal and professional struggles. I've become grateful for many lessons I learned. Watch these three words, the hard way. I just was talking about that. Some people just have to learn the hard way, or we all are. Because just like if we pay attention, the same way we used to listen to our parents telling us something and we thought we just knew it all, it's the same thing we get back from our kids if you have children. It's the same thing you get back, and it doesn't surprise me. Sometimes I actually say, Dad, I remember when I said that to my mom and dad, right? So you got to understand that some people will have to learn the hard way. Several years ago, a friend of mine from recovery learned horrifically that his 7-year-old daughter was hit by a drunk driver. Wow. While she was in a coma, his rage at the driver was tempted by the fact that he had spent the previous 2 days wrestling with making financial amends for his own past drunk driving accident just 1 block from where his daughter was hit. Wow. Man. There, but for the grace of God, he thought, and did something he still finds unfathomable. He reached out to the man who hit his daughter and took him to an alcoholism recovery group. It was a deep, powerful lesson in grace, gratitude, and forgiveness. I've learned that just as I wish for forgiveness when I was wrong, I must always be willing to forgive when I've been wrong. Wow, that's good. Resentment is like drinking poison and hoping someone else dies. Forgiveness isn't automatic. It requires owning mistakes and changing, but it must always be available. So you want to practice acceptance, forgiveness, and more importantly, have a grateful heart. You got to always remember, have gratitude. Got to have gratitude. And lastly, gonna bring it on in. Pay it forward. Recovery is predicted on servant leadership. As we learn and grow, we are responsible to pay it forward. I feel that responsibility and know that I cannot deny help to someone else that has been provided to me. We share our stories, as I do now, to offer each other's lessons of hope. It was because so many people have helped me get my life on track that I searched for a way to help others in a career in public service. I've tried to apply the same lessons to share and pay forward the support I've received throughout my leadership and my career. Last October, a friend of a friend was referred to me who was in treatment for alcoholism. When he got out, we met a few times to talk, attended a recovery meeting, and I advised him on a fairly standard program for his first 90 days. It wasn't working for him, and when he rejected my other advice, I worried that he might not be truly ready or committed to change. Understanding how change happens in people's lives, seeking mentors, owning mistakes, suspended judgment, letting go, forgiving, and paying it forward. These are priceless leadership lessons that I've learned in an unusual way. I'm certainly not perfect at them, but they've been a great set of insights and principles to guide my life and leadership. I'm grateful to be a recovering person and a person of leadership. I've learned to be as a result. So today we were just talking about a great topic, and it's all about what I learned. What I learned about leadership from addiction recovery. The first one is people need change and relationships matter more than programs. The next one is mentors matters most. The third one was own your mistakes and your failures. The fourth one was welcome and don't judge other people's stories. The next one was practice acceptance, practice forgiveness, and practice being grateful. And the last one was pay it forward. So all of these lessons was something that we just wanted to go over today. And it's what I learned about leadership from addiction recovery. Y'all have a great evening. We see you at Gratitude Tuesday at 7.